Yes, okay. This is my slide. Welcome. Thank you for staying. Many people is rushing out, but the tea break is not ready. I don't know why they're rushing out. So I hope you are staying here to listen to me, and not because there's place to sit here and the aircon is quite good. All right. So okay. My name is Lu Tong. You can see on the slide. My name is Lu Tong. You can call me LT for short. The easy way to remember my name is remember that my presentation are never too long. Right. So Lu Tong, too long. Just remember that. Right? Okay. Actually, we have very short time. Just given 20 minutes for this session. Actually, we have a lot of interesting products and very interesting features for you. So what I'm going to do today in the short 20 minutes is to let you know what are the key things that we are doing in Quest. You may not have heard of Quest, but a lot of people know us as the Toad company. I believe you know the product called Toad. So we are the company that sells Toad. So Toad is apparently more famous than the Quest itself. Right. So a little bit of my history. I've been working in Quest for the last 17 years. It's a long time in IT. So I started with Oracle version 7. And now most people with Oracle 7 has already retired, except me. So, right. So now it's already Oracle 12. Right. So I've been handling the database management portfolio in Quest for the entire Asia Pacific, including India, of course. So I travel around the whole Asia Pacific. So talking like trade show like this, meeting customers, meeting partners and all that. So that's my job. And if you have any question after this session, you can always come down to our booth, actually right outside hall number 4, right in front of the door, Quest booth. You can talk to us after that. So today what we're going to present to you is what are the solutions that Quest have in the world of cloud. Okay, so we put the word B1 with the cloud. It's like the Star Wars, right? B1, but this is not Star Wars, this is Cloud Wars. Okay, so every cloud vendor is trying to fight for the piece of the pie out there. So what are the solutions that we have? Okay, these are the main problems that the DBA face in a recent survey. 68% of the DBA now are managing close to 500 databases. How many are DBAs here? DBAs are plenty, right? India has plenty of DBAs. And how about developers? Some developers. So DBA also raise the hand, so they do everything. And then, so the rest that never raise the hand, I assume you are managers, right? So, and usually in the organization, there are more managers than developers. Have you ever seen people digging the trench, the holes, right? If you pass by, you realize that only one person is digging, but 5 people is watching. Looking. I feel the same in my company, right? I'm the one doing the work, and then I have so many managers looking, what are you doing, what are you doing? It's the same, okay? So, but if you rewind back 5-10 years ago, one DBA maybe handle maximum of 20 databases. And then he can go home early to see the wife and kids. But now, because the data have grown so much in the last 2 years, right? 92% of the data that we have now is actually created in the last 2 to 3 years. So huge amount of data. And then, of course, many database instances. So typically, a DBA handle between 100 to 500 databases. And when they go home, their wife and kids are already sleeping. Okay, or if you press the doorbell, maybe the person who opened the door, you ask, "Mommy, who is this man?" Right? So your kids don't even recognize you. So that is the challenge for the DBA now. And we are not talking just about one type of database, right? Long time ago, maybe there's only 5 major databases: Oracle, SQL Server, DB2, Sybase, and Informix. But in the last 5 years, more than 250 databases were created for different purposes, right? So that is the market now. And then, so that is the main challenge to manage the database for DBA. And of course, among all these problems that the DBA have, 72% of the DBA still feel that performance of a database is the critical thing. Okay? If the database cannot perform well, the DBA cannot sleep well. Right? So that's the main thing. And of course, 34% of them are thinking whether they should move to the cloud or are already in the cloud. That's why you're here. Okay? You're not here definitely because of the aircon and the nice lunch. Okay? So 34% of them are thinking about that. Right? So that's the trend. Okay, and so one of our tools that help the customer is if you want to move from the on-premise to the cloud, okay, or you want to do database migration, upgrade the databases in different platform. You want to move from Unix to Linux, okay, or you want to move from different Oracle versions. So one of our tools help you to do the migration. So one of our big customer was Dell. Okay, so without using the tool itself, it took 20 hours of downtime, and that cost $2 million to Dell. just to down the system for 20 hours, right? So of course, no company will do that for migration. So if the cost of downtime is high, so we can help them to do the migration in less than 40 minutes. Okay? In 40 minutes, we have to migrate the key database over to the new platform. So that is what we can do in this tool. So it helps to cut down a lot of stress. Usually when DBA do migration, you have to choose the longest weekend, right? And then you stay behind. Everybody is having holiday, and then you are doing the migration, and then the aircon is off, okay? And then when you do the migration, and halfway when it fails, what happens? Then you have to go to the nearest airport and fly out, right? So we always say that when you do the database migration, you have to bring a passport, right? So fly anywhere as long as you can get the first flight out, okay? So that's the danger, okay? The stress there. But with the tool itself, we cut down the stress. Okay, the only downtime that the database have is when you want to cut over. When you're happy with the new database and then you cut over. So that is the only downtime that we're talking about, right? So that's one case study that we have here. The second case study is about Amazon. So one of the customers, of course, want to cut down the cost of having an on-premise database. They want to cut over to using the database in the cloud. But of course, this is 24/7 business. Many businesses now are 24/7. So the ability to down the system for extended period of time is not acceptable, right? Loss of business. So you want to move from on-premise to the cloud with minimum downtime. So what they do, they use our solution. And then the database is not big, the transaction is not high, but it's critical, right? The business is critical. So, and then each minute, okay, this is online advertising. So every seconds, there's a lot of clicks, and that are all money, right? Money. So it costs them a lot, okay, a lot of money just to down the system for an hour. So it's not acceptable to them. So they use our solution and they can cut over from on-premise to the cloud in 3 seconds, right? 3 seconds, sometimes you even blink the eye, is over, right? So that migration is very fast for them. Okay, so no transaction loss within the period of cut over. So that is critical, right? Main concern is, can I migrate to the cloud without substantial downtime? So we have a solution. So in the end, how we did, okay? So 4 hours to 3 seconds, and then save them about $300,000. Right, $300,000 for a small company is a lot of money. Okay. Okay. So how did they did it? Okay. So what we do is that now it's replicating to the old system. Okay. So how do we move to the RDS or EC2? Right. So first they move the app server to EC2 first, and then we start the replication to the new database, and then you can test it. Test it as long as you want. Test it for months if you want. And test it during normal office hour, not in the middle of the night when your eyes cannot open, right? So you do that, and when you're happy, you can do as many testing as possible. Run a report there, run a report here, compare, and then when you're happy, okay, we can set the reverse. Why do we want to do the reverse? Because in IT, there's always this question that the CIO would like to ask you: what if? What if you cut over to the new system and it doesn't work? Then you tell the CIO, I already bought the ticket. Right? I have already bought the ticket. Right? So, but that's of course not the solution. We cannot keep running forever, right? There's only so many countries you can run through, right? Okay. So, we have the option for you to do the replication in reverse. So the data is synced back to the old system. And then once you're ready, you just need to swing the application over. And we continue the replication in reverse until you're happy with the new system. If something is wrong that you cannot correct on the new system, you have the option to fail back. No data loss. Right? So we did that for one customer, and 1 hour of uptime, something is wrong with the new system. The CPU resources is very high, and nobody knows the reason why. So the operation officer say, we have to fail back. So in the 1 hour that is up, 10 million transactions went into the system. So without the reverse replication, you have to find 1,000 people to key in 10,000 records, right? To patch the data. So that's not acceptable. So with the small little line backward, it saves a lot of lives, including the ticket. Okay? The ticket you don't have to buy. All right? So that's the advantage. So when you're happy, and then you can finally cut off. So that is what they did. So now they are totally running on the AWS. Okay? So they save a lot of costs, including the downtime costs for the migration. So the solution, we can know on-premise to RDS, which is what the customer has did. We can also do, if you don't want to run any SharePlex services in on-premise, you can run it in the EC2. Okay, our tools is already running in EC2, AMI, so you can do that. And you can also replicate between. So this tool is not just for migration. After you migrate over, if you want to separate the data, whether for reporting or data distribution or data consolidation, you can still use the solution because we can replicate between the cloud. Okay? Okay? Or you can move between RDS, okay? So EC2 or RDS, either one is fine, right? So it depends whether you want to control the OS or not. And if there's a case where across the region, because just now if you attend the keynote this morning, you realize there's 56 different locations, right? So if you want to replicate between the zones, we can also do that for you. Okay, between the zones, across continents, across the different Amazon zones. So that is also possible. Okay, after you move over, what about performance? Remember, 72% of people of DBA think that performance is still critical. So we give you a complete set of tools. You're able to migrate over, you're able to replicate, and then we give you the tool to do the monitoring. And how is this compared to the native tool? Of course, we are not just talking about Oracle. We can monitor all these different kind of databases. And the reason why all these databases appear in the last 2 years, as I mentioned, is because traditional relational database is not good to hold huge amount of data. Right? They are not efficient. It's difficult to store, difficult to manage, and the worst, take a long time to search the data. Right? Searching through 10 million records and 1 billion records is different, very different, right? So relational database is not a good candidate because you require to, because it's relational, right? Fully normalized, you need to join 5 tables to get a report. So that is not optimal. So in the last 5 years, many researchers went in and created many database, columnar database, fast search database, for the purpose of fast data retrieval for huge amount of data. Right? So we realized that trend. So we do not just monitor the traditional databases, but we also monitor all other databases. But in Amazon itself, if you have all these databases running on RDS or EC2, we can monitor them too. Right? So you can run this monitoring tool either in EC2 or running on-premise. So up to you. Right? It's flexible. Okay, you can know the overall health. And then if you drill down, you can see every instance. Okay, how is the health like for every instance? All the details that you ever want to know as a DBA. Of course, you can write your own scripts, okay, but this is 24/7 monitoring, okay, with the low overheads. And then you can see what are all the alarms, and then the top 10 SQL that is slowest. To tell you within that period of time, what are the slow SQL that you can tune. If you can tune this top 10 SQL, the slower SQL, of course the system will be much better. And then the next 10 will come up, right? So that's telling you where to focus on the tuning effort to ensure better performance, okay? And what is special about this tool as compared to any tool out there in the market? This tool is able to give you something like a data warehouse. So you can go in and then drill down from different angles. Whether are you trying to catch a SQL? Are you trying to catch somebody, some program running from some machine? Right? So you can have different level of drill down. Okay, this SQL running from that database and running by this particular user. So you can drill down to find where is the problem. Right? And then we also give you something called change tracking. What is change tracking? Something that you do in the database that causes the performance to be bad. We put these two things together in the same graph called the change tracking. You see those little jelly beans there? Okay. So all the changes that you make to the database as a DBA, we track them. What's the purpose? We want to make sure that when there's a performance problem, the first thing you rule out is not something you have changed. Right? You have to rule out that first. You don't go around scolding people, right? Make sure that it's not done by you, okay, then you can look for other causes. So we put them in the same diagram so you can see very clearly. For example, the performance become bad because you loaded many data. Suddenly you load many data inside, the explain plan the previous explain plan is not optimized, okay, for the query. Or you created an index or you drop an index and then the performance become bad. So that itself also important changes to the database that affect the performance. Okay, and all other things including different plans and all that can be seen from the change tracking. And we also provide something very interesting to answer a question that end user always asks. You see, the tools that Quest design is not some developer hiding in the cave thinking what the world needs. All these actually are feedback from the customers, for end users, what they need. So we did. So the next thing that we did was to answer a question the end user like to ask. What happened last Friday? Of course, when they have a problem on Friday, they run the report. It's slow. They will not tell you on Friday. Why? Because they want to go home, right? If they tell you, you say, come, sit down, let's try to find the problem. That will take another to midnight. Again, you don't see your kids, right? Again, you cannot go out to meet your friends. So, or for the whiskey or beer or whatever. So they will not tell you on Friday because they're running to catch the whiskey, right? So, but then Monday come, they will come and ask you, why my report on Friday is slow? Then you're thinking, I don't even know how many drinks I drink on Friday. How do I answer the question, what happened on Friday, right? On the database. So we give you that comparison, or sometimes they ask, this month the report runs slow, 3 hours. Why last month only need 1 hour? Last Friday you cannot remember. How to remember what happened last month, right? So we give you the graph to do the comparison. You can pull out the plan, what happened last month, pull out the plan, what happened now, and you do the comparison and see what is the difference. Right? Then you know, oh, because a lot of data is inserted, so the plan change, or you do massive archival, you leave many wasted block inside, and the query is doing table scan. So you can uncover problem like this and answer that funny question that the user asks at a funny time, okay? When the thing is not happening, right? They always ask the history. So we give you the tool to be able to do that, okay? And we give you something that in the market that doesn't happen. We give you advisories. We build in some machine learning, right? Artificial, now we're talking about machine learning, artificial intelligence. So they actually study the system performance. And then based on that, they give you a recommendation. Why we can develop a tool like this? That is because in the market, many tuning books in the market, database tuning book, some of them are written by our own Oracle experts, own database expert, in-house expert. So they write the book. So what they do is they put it into tool. If you see this scenario, this is the recommendation. So this is good for what purpose? If you are very junior DBA, you can actually read through the whole thing and then understand, oh, this is what I must do, right? You learn. But if you are very experienced DBA, you look at the graph previously and you already have the solution, you can read this to confirm if your understanding and the system understanding is the same. Okay, so this is very helpful. You can read in details, right? If you find the offending SQL, then next thing is can send it for tuning. We have the best tuning engine in the world, okay? Because it's based on the algorithm. And then automatically, it will rewrite for you all the rewrites. Okay, what is SQL rewriting? You have to write the SQL differently, but have exactly the same results. Exactly the same, right? So I met a DBA manager that's very good in tuning. He says that, why do I need to buy your tool? I can tune better than your tool, right? So he went back to the mountain, into the cave, and then he took 3 days to write a best SQL. It's not easy to write a best SQL, right? So he wrote 3 days to write a best SQL, and then he, of course, write the good one again. He came back to me and he says, show that your tool is good. So I put the tool inside, we ran it. My SQL ran for 3 minutes. And he runs his SQL 1.5. He says, see, your tool has no use, right? Your tool has no use. My SQL is better. I say, wait, hang on. Let's put your tool into this, okay? Let's put your SQL into this picture. And then if you can see clearly here, there's one column called result comparison. Here, automatically generate all identical results. When his SQL is ran, not identical. Actually, only half the result came back. Of course, his SQL will be faster if half the result came back. But it shows that his SQL is the wrong SQL, right? So I show it to him, and he says, okay, we'll buy the tool. Okay? So the tool has guaranteed that for you. The result is definitely identical, right? So that is the other one. And then there's another DBA that I met, is very good in tuning. All the SQL that she tuned, I put inside the tool. There's no alternative. He says, I don't need your tool. So I asked her the second question. How long do you want to be a SQL tuner? I said, your name should not be DBA, right? Your title should be SQL tuner. So she think for a while and she say, okay, I'll buy the tool. Okay. Because nobody wants to sit there and tune SQL, right? It's a very boring job. And the chances of you getting it wrong is high, right? So let the tool do it, right? Let the tool do it. So that will help them to solve the problem. So all the green color is faster than you. The blue color is the original SQL. And then you, as a senior DBA, you can look at the plan and decide why this SQL is better. If you're a junior one, you can look at the construct and know that, oh, by writing it this way, it can be better. Actually, we advocate that even the developer use this tool to do the tuning, not just the DBA, right? So the developer, after they use this tool for a while, they learn how to write good SQL. Okay, so this is the end of my session, and that is my name. If you cannot see my face, that's big enough. And I think it's not difficult to find me around here because I'm one of the few non-Indians in this seminar. So any question, you can please approach me outside. Right? Thank you very much. Namaste.